Hi everyone, I just wanted to start the series off with a breakdown on the difference between disaster recovery, also known as DR, and business continuity planning, also known as BCP. Often both terms are used quite interchangeably when they're actually slightly different constructs, and in reality disaster recovery is actually a part of a broader business continuity process or plan. It's a subset of BCP. The main difference between the two, DR is usually a technical term, and it's used to describe a business's ability to recover immediately after an incident or an emergency, where key systems, technology, information and infrastructure can be recovered as quickly as possible. Business continuity, on the other hand, is the ability for that business to continue to operate long-term beyond the immediate disaster, so to have the plans in place should more than just technology be unavailable, buildings, staff, and other things. Business continuity typically applies when there's a pandemic or a major emergency, a natural disaster, or can be even the offices burning down or being unavailable for any reason, whereas disaster recovery may simply only be invoked due to a power cut in a certain region. To help build on that scenario a little bit more, I'm actually going to flip over to the sample of a sports team and how they use disaster recovery and business continuity as part of their season planning and their planning for major tournaments as well.
To illustrate the example of how a sports team exercises disaster recovery and business continuity, I've taken the All Blacks team from their test match against Ireland in their end of year tour last year. To start with, they ran on with 15 players. That's their operations unit. It's the team that's going out there to deliver the business model that they have planned for. They then have 8 reserves on the bench, which covers disaster recovery. Now, they do perform a couple of roles, one being substitution, but often they're there to cover for injuries. So if one player in the starting lineup gets injured and can't continue in the game, there's someone they can call upon immediately who understands the game plan and who can run the business model right to the final whistle. From there, they also had a further 9 players on the touring squad with them. That's covering their business continuity. So if one of those injuries in a main team is serious enough that that player can't continue, they have someone else who can actually fill the disaster recovery role in the next game. So they're covering their bases and they're planning for it. Now, not only do they have the disaster recovery ready to go for their main game, but those players are often starting in lesser test matches throughout the year. What that means is that those players are able to come on confident that they understand the game plan. And it's the same process as exercising your disaster recovery or your business continuity through the year. You want to practice things so that when disaster does strike, your people know what to do and they know how to operate. And that's where sports teams are very good at delivering disaster recovery and business continuity. Although they don't necessarily call it that, they refer to it as building depth.
So there you have it. That's the key difference between disaster recovery and business continuity. Hopefully that's clarified a few things for you, and now's a good time to actually check whether your business has either a DR plan or a business continuity plan in place to help support through major incidents and through major crises as well. If there's anything you do want me to cover off, please comment below and I'd be happy to provide more context.